Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming in. You can see that I have Paula with me today. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
How are you? I hear you sipping the coffee.
Good coffee.
Unfortunately, my coffee delivery person is OOC. She's
I
out of yeah,
know.
so
You have to get your
when I
own.
when I run out of coffee, I'm kind of just stuck here. I do have some water. Oh no, I don't.
No, you can go. I'll keep them entertained if you want to go refill your
All
coffee.
right, folks. If I have to walk away from you, it's because coffee is more important. Okay?
That's right.
It was a long night last night. I supported Tiger until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we ended up streaming for an hour.
Nice.
Yeah, talking about all sorts of weird stuff that he likes to talk about and telling dad jokes, and it was fun. It was fun. So let's go ahead and do the pleasantries. Let's say hi to everybody. Hey, Kraken. Bifrost
Cracking.
will not be back until next weekend. She's got lots of stuff going on, so she won't see that. But I did crack that open and look at that. I think she's going to be very happy. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate you, bud.
And I
Hey,
never did get your pictures cracking.
Me is
Never.
in the streams. Good morning, Me. I hope you're doing well. He is
Morning.
actually in. Where is he in? Is he in Carolina or he's somewhere? He's visiting his family. I can't remember where he's from.
He is definitely somewhere.
Yeah, he's somewhere. I can't remember. Rockzilla, good morning. How you doing? Siren, as always. Thank you for being a mod supporting. Jack Gallman is in the house from Marion, North Carolina. I hope you're doing well, Jack. Good to see things starting to come back to normal. I do appreciate it.
Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and without further ado, let's go ahead and dig straight into continuation part two of the conversations that were had yesterday. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
So yesterday, as many of you probably were aware, I got pretty hot under the collar when I found out that the U.S. Mint actually had sent some stuff out. In particular,
Allegedly.
allegedly, yeah, allegedly, based off of the um, information and feedback of a couple people. Now, again, I'm not saying that Mint is doing anything nefarious or crooked. I'm not saying they're doing anything illicit. That's not my intent. But I think they could. I think they just let people down. If this actually ends up being true and this is what it is, then it's going to. It's kind of a slap in the face. And so I was really frustrated. I'm a lot more calmer than I was yesterday. I was really hot under the collar yesterday. Well, because the Mint had a great opportunity to really engage their primary breadwinner. That's
Oh,
the
I
American
know.
public, right? Not line the pockets of the bigger companies that can afford 10, 20, $50,000 worth of silver
It
for
will
gold
in turn turn around and screw all
and
of us.
jack the hell out of it. Yep. Now I know
Yes.
that there's comments, and I've seen a couple different people for some of the channels that report from the Mint saying, "Well, yeah, but there's a 5% markup." Ladies and gentlemen, if we looked at the stuff that was on eBay, it was way more than 5%, and these were people that were supposedly on the list. So I'm a little curious. Now, have you seen the thumbnail? We're going to be talking about something else that is a real oddity. Uh, like Paul and I are scratching our heads over this one
Mhm.
because you guys saw yesterday. If you guys, I don't know how many people are in chat right now, but if you saw yesterday, me show multiple examples of sites with slabbed, uh, flowing hair dollars with the privy mark. Put a one in chat. Hey, Ron Stewart, how you doing, bud? Good to see you. Crack in. Happy to support. Oh man, my eyeballs just went funky.
Multiple listings.
Yeah, multiple listings, right? And if
Mhm.
you went to eBay yesterday, after I did my initial stream, you would have found just a bunch. I mean, a bunch of them. Yesterday, after my live stream, and I'm not going to say that my live stream had anything to do with it. there are multiple people who are reporting on stuff like this. So there's a plethora of people that could have engaged this. Paula called me and said, "Hey, Frosty, can you do me a favor? Can you go back to Google and search for these? Can you go back to YouTube or eBay? Can you search for these? Because I'm just not seeing any."
They gone.
Yeah,
They
and
disappeared.
they're gone. All those listings that I showed you yesterday are gone, with the exception of one. Now,
Mm.
there are a couple other listings that are there, but there's some nuances in language. So the ones that are still there have an end date of like November 17th,
Yeah.
right? And there are 30-day auctions or whatnot. So I fully get that one, understand that one. But there's only one that ends Wednesday. All the rest of them are gone. Now, being a good investigative reporter that I am and really trying to monitor and catch things, I always take screen captures of things because I want people to understand. They come back and they say, "Well, that doesn't exist. It's not there." I want people to understand, here it is. It's here. I want you to see it. And I took some screen captures yesterday, and I've got a couple of them up here. But even the sold listings are gone. Not all
Yep.
of them. There's a few of them still there, but most of the sold
I
listings.
couldn't find any.
Yeah.
I
And
couldn't find
so
any.
somehow, like a fart in the wind,
Mhm.
all these listings just have vanished. They're gone. They don't exist anymore. They have disappeared. Um, and I have some examples. I actually sent via text, and Paula can confirm this. And Paula and I are big on integrity. Okay. And so for transparency, and I'll show you guys the photos. I took a photo with my phone, snapped it, sent it to Paula, and said, "Here it is." And then what was it, like 3 hours later? It was gone,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
image had been replaced. Now,
Mhm.
the only reason I knew to do this through Google is because there is a time lapse from when servers cycle and you upload something to the algorithm and to the system picking up and refreshing its cache. So images are going to be held into cache. And so if you post something and you do your SES and you put your information, you put your tags in, you do all that stuff, that information gets uploaded to Google, and it takes a little bit of time for that to cycle. It's not an immediate thing. So as we were talking through this, and I was trying to show her that we had PCGS, NGC, and CAC examples, as well as Annex, but I didn't get
Yeah,
I didn't
there was an annex
yeah
too.
I didn't get the screenshot of Annex. Um,
Mhm.
but I got the other ones because I wanted to show them. And when we were going through it, she called me, and I'm like, "I'm not seeing it. Like I'm not seeing them. I know I got one because I took a screenshot of it." And by 5:30 Central yesterday, there were no longer any examples on Google that we could find, and on
Mhm.
eBay. All those eBay listings were gone. Now, I actually sent Paula yesterday the link that showed the image of the Privy Mark item and the link to that particular item. So I showed it and where it led to. Now, at 2 or 3 o'clock, whenever right after I went live and did that thing, um, that took you to their site, but the site had already been removed, and that was a major flag for me. So the other elements were still there. The non-privied coins were still in the slabs on that particular site. And hey, Kraken just gifted Invisible River Ranch a membership. Thanks, Kraken. I appreciate you, bud. But I took a screenshot and I said, "Hey, Paula, here's the thing you're seeing on Google, and then here's the link." And she clicked on it. She's like, "That's so weird." And we just kept looking. But 3 hours later, they were all gone.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying that there's any foul play. And let's say that there is something that, hey, there's misinformation out there and we need to get a handle on it. Then I have to say one of two things. I have to say, hold on, Mint, or I have to say, good job, Mint. And right now, I don't know which to say.
Yeah, and like Mark said, if they did put out a gag order team, if they, if they sent out their gag order team,
Yeah.
it's a little too late because the word has already been out. There were multiple videos, and my understanding is that Silver Dragons even called the Mint, and maybe that, maybe people calling the Mint is what flagged them, and
Yeah, that's
let
my
them
thought.
know that, uh-oh, something's maybe we better shut these people down and shut them up. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is we're going to continue this conversation. I have something on my heating pad on my back. It was a dingbat ran down the stairs and missed about 8 of them. But I want to kind of go over some of the things, and I'm going to be reading. Oh, you all right?
Sorry. I dropped my water. I'm a mess.
I want to go over a couple of things that people said regarding. Um, did you hear about the bread factory burning down? They say it. They say the business is toast.
Oh my
I love
gosh.
that joke. All right, so I'm going to pull up a couple of things. I'm going to be doing this on my phone because obviously we have different cameras up, and I'm looking at some stuff. But one gentleman reached out. And he said, "Okay, for all intents and purposes, let's assume that these are the numbers." And this is important to me because and we can't assume this. Now, I say that we can't assume this because we don't know. At this point, the call that I made yesterday, and I was very clear, the call for yesterday was transparency. U.S. Mint, tell us what's going on. Like, we've got all this stuff. If you screwed the pooch on this and you actually did do this, then let us know. Right? Own up to whatever it is. Be honest. Be transparent about it. That was my
Well,
call
and real
yesterday.
quick, another
Transparency.
thing I wanted to bring up too is that if you look into that bulk program, they very clearly list the items that are included in that bulk buying program. And these things are not one of them.
Right.
So I don't understand how that bulk buying program goes. And I also don't understand why those big bullion companies like AppMex and them, why they were not doing the same thing. They had
Well,
them on there. They had some of them listed, but they had notify me, and they didn't have like pictures of like they weren't leading people to believe that they already had them in stock.
which is in line of what you would see with two situations: a gag order, or they just don't have them.
Right.
Yeah. So there's nothing about and I said SD Bullion yesterday just because that was the thing that came off of the
Mhm.
top of my head. I'm not picking on SD Bullion. I don't. I like their company. So again, I'm not knocking any of these companies. I'm really not even knocking the Mint. I'm not angry at the U.S. Mint. I'm disappointed in the U.S. Mint, and there's
I
a
am if
big
they actually did
distinction.
that. I am disappointed with
Because
them.
if this comes out to be the fact that they have taken what could have amounted to a really good opportunity and just basically crapped on the American people, I don't. I'm just not happy about it. But I'm going to read this to you guys. This was sent by Dio Styles 1. It says, "I'm not a mather, but 75,000 coins and 1794 privy. There's 500 in a monster box. That's 150 monster boxes. If you take 1,904 or 1,794 divided by evenly through those 150 monster boxes, it's about 11 privy coins per monster box. If 20 boxes were sold, that advances 220 of those that are already out into the public, leaving 1,430 left. If it's as random as the mint says, the numbers can vary, but probably not by much. If the mint sent out 1,200 privy marks and the public's left with 494, could be that way too. I don't know, but I won't be buying one regardless." And the thing that I really liked about that comment is that, so number one, Everything right now is conjecture. Everything. We don't know. And there's there's this thing about transparency. There's this thing about making sure that you silver solar machine. Do you ever sleep? Yes.
Well,
When
how
I'm
can they put a household limit on something that they're selling to other people in bulk?
yeah,
The whole thing is just it
yeah.
just
And
stinks.
so again, it's like how does that work?
Understand it.
Um,
Uh-huh.
and now, granted, and now this is I said this yesterday as well. Okay, there's a way. I'm sorry, my eyeballs are itching. Oh, hard. Ragweed is really high. It's kicking my tail. So let's say, for instance, that you wanted to continue the bulk program, okay, and the big companies are going to be frustrated when I say this because they're going to be like, "Well, hey, you're taking it away from us." No, we're making it fair for the American person, the collector. Um, what they should have done is they should have given them all the non-privy coins to grade, to do whatever, to market them up, to do whatever it is, do the early release, get them all graded, all the CAC, PCGS, NGC, Annex, whatever they wanted to send them to, have all their special labels made up, do all the stuff that they normally do in this bulk program buyout, right? But then release just like everybody else. Say, hey, we're going to put so many of these in each coffer, and you have the opportunity, just like everybody else. It's not going to a specific one. It's not like you're going to get that. Um, it's not like you would get the opportunity to um, pick them up ahead of time. So, for instance, you said AppMax, okay? AppMax isn't going to get 50 of them, right? They have the opportunities just like everybody else. It's open to the employees. It's whatever. Everybody goes and does whatever they want to do, however they want to do
Mhm.
it. And there's no telling how people get what.
Well, and I've always pictured that as like if you ever saw the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory,
Yeah,
like
the golden
Veruca
ticket.
Salt, her dad's company, his chocolate or his nut factory. He had all his employees switching from nuts to chocolate and opening up, bars of chocolate to try to get a golden ticket. And that employee that found the golden ticket got like a bonus or whatever. You 2 extra shillings in your paycheck. Anyway, that's how I picture like AppMex and these big companies. Like anyone who finds the privy mark will get 2 extra shillings in your next paycheck. That's a horrible. That's a
Yeah, well,
horrible.
she opens it up and she's
You
like,
get
"Oh,"
the
and he grabs her
picture.
hand. Oh,
Yeah, but you get the picture. Like
yeah.
so I see that, right? But and which is why you see like notify me in the listings on AppMex. Like maybe we'll have one, maybe we'll have 10. We don't know. So,
So
whatever. But
Silver Wolverine just sent me an email. He's in the chat. Thanks for coming in,
I
brother.
see.
He said, "Sorry, I thought I would have time this week and will not. Just so you're aware, there are advanced release labels of the Flowing Hair Privy Mark on the PCGS Pop Report. Nothing I can find on NGC. He'll be talking about it on Monday."
Yeah, and but now so to me though that means nothing. Labels mean zero to me.
Yeah, because we
Um
don't have verification of the coins. The issue was
Well, they
that
just mean nothing. They can put anything they want on a label, like first strike. Those labels like first day of release, first strike, early release. I mean,
advanced release was the
people who get those labels, it's just if they send their thing in within the first 30 days or whatever, they can get an early release label or whatever. So I don't hold a lot of weight when it comes. I don't that means nothing to me. Those labels mean nothing. It's just a money grab. They charge extra for the person who wants those labels, and then the person selling the slab with the label charges extra for the label. So it means nothing to me.
Yeah, the thing that got me yesterday was number one, hearing back from the gentleman from eBay. and having them say, "Yes, I have,"
They had 5,
right?
right.
Right, and going, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's talk about the astronomical, um, likelihood of getting 1, let alone it's
But it doesn't,
2.4%."
Silver Wolverine, because 99.9% of all of those graded are going to be 69s or 70s. 99% of them are going to be 69s or 70s. You're gonna get the occasional one that was goofed up that's gonna get a 67 or 68, but 99% of them are gonna be 69s or 70s. So it's not hard for them to do pre-sales with 69s and 70s. They
Thanks for
did
the
it with
heads
the
up, coach.
Morgan
I'll adjust my position. Thank
when
you.
the 2021 Morgan dollars were coming out, they did massive pre-sales on supposedly already graded examples of those. Um, and then they're just generic pictures. There's no label, there's no numbers on the labels. They're just generic, but they're not even real coins in those pictures.
Yeah, and if you
Hey,
look at the
Aaron.
labels that are on PCGS, those numbers don't even register. So, the
No.
numbers across the board, everything PCGS, all of those numbers across the board are the exact same numbers. So, here's the thing. So, if PCGS issued out a press release doc that you are able to, utilize this photo for your advertising. These are some of the labels that we want to use. If you're going to be utilizing this, here's your press pamphlet, right? This is the photos you're authorized to use, and so on and so forth. We understand that every one of those for PCGS is going to be whatever the number is, and I've got the number here. I'll pull that up here in just a second. CAC grading's number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Right. So every one you see with this is going to be the exact same one. My problem is not the fact that the labels are out there or that some of these people even have the coins. My issue was the privy mark because what the mint was stating when they were doing, or let me rephrase that. The intent that people read is that there were going to be 1,794 of these available October 15th,
Right. The day of
the day of
when
release.
it goes on sale. Yes, the
And
day of release.
that doesn't appear to be true, right? And
And we
so,
really will never know.
well, but this is where my call is not, again, my call is not to tell you guys, screw the mint, do this. I'm really upset. Yesterday I was hot under the collar. But what's important to me is that, look, if the mint did this, then people deserve to have a real understanding of what their odds are. And if they came back and they said, "Thanks, freaking awesome, appreciate you," hey, no problem, coach. If they came back and they said, "Hey, you know what? We suspect," much like the comment that I just read, you guys. Okay, if we suspect that 5% of these have gone out,
Mhm.
and there's 68,000 coins available for purchase October 15th. People can run those numbers and see. Now, granted, you're talking about a 2.4% chance to get one, but we don't know how many are gone. So nobody has any idea. It could be 200 of them that are gone. It could be 500 of them are gone. It could be 1,000 of them that are gone. We don't know what happens. If they were sent out, I want transparency. I want to be able to see and understand what the odds are because if the odds of getting
But
one
they
of
are
these is
not gonna they'll never be able to tell us. If they did send some out with the privies, they'll never be able to tell us because those are packaged up at the and by this third party distribution center. The coins are struck and they are sent off, and then they are packaged up at a different distribution center. And that's where they are sent out. And they are just randomly like they're boxed up, and the ones with the privy, the ones without the privy, the ones with the COA, blah blah blah, are all in boxes. Nobody knows what's in what. So they really won't, the mint will not know which ones were sent out with privies and which ones weren't because they don't do their own packaging and distribution. That is done by a completely separate entity.
So Silver
What's those
Wolverine says
coins?
there's 3 MS-69s and 2570s listed for 28 total graded
Mhm.
on their population report, and that means they would have to have those coins in hand.
No, I am not saying that I'm not saying that they didn't already grade them. I'm not. Um, I I don't know. I don't know. If you could, can you put that link in the chat? Um,
Well, but what it doesn't tell you is, well, I'm assuming. Okay, this is my assumption. I'm assuming that it doesn't tell you whether they're privy or marked or not. That
right.
would be my assumption, but I don't know because I've never pulled up the U.S. Mint population or PCGS population report.
Was it going to be first? No, it was. It was just random. Yankee. It was just random. It was supposed to be just random. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they really do have those already on, it does have whether it's privies. Can you put that in the chat, Silver Wolverine? That link.
Hey, look who decided to grace us with his presence.
Eric! Oh
Hey,
my
what's happening?
Hey, how you
gosh!
guys
How
doing
are
down
you,
there?
my
Good,
friend?
good. I decided to take a day off from cleaning up.
Hey, Yankee Doodle,
Yay!
what's going
It's
on?
good to hear your voice.
You guys,
Chuck
just a
Chuck
lot of.
just left and went to go take his dad to FEMA to try to get money to fix his house, and
Hmm.
I figured I'd sit around and come chat.
How is
And if PCGS only has here's another thing. If PCGS truly has only graded 28, then all of these other people are that then their ads are false. Because I have seen a lot more put up for pre-sale than 28.
Yeah. Well, and he indicated that remember that we've
And
seen.
that certainly doesn't sound like a bulk submission to
Yeah.
me.
I'm not
So
seeing.
there is weird stuff going on.
Always.
Yeah, there is weird stuff because 28 does not sound like a bulk submission if these are truly bulk buys.
Actually, he would have to do a roll is 20, right?
Hmm.
He would have to do at least 20 to do a bulk submission because it's got to be a full roll.
No, but there's several companies that claim to have bought through the bulk buying program.
Well, that they can do that. The bulk buying pre-graded already.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know about that unless, a lot of them might be saying they've bought them and they haven't got them. So they're pre selling them and they're being promised them.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
what I was saying, that's
yeah,
not unusual. They did have done that multiple times in the past. And then if they don't get them, they just refund the
refund the money.
money.
Yeah.
So, um, so just because it's listed doesn't mean that that's an actual like that will actually come to fruition. But
Right.
yesterday there were all of these listings on eBay and other companies with these privy marked ones
And they're
that
all
are
gone.
those listings are now gone.
All of them but one.
There's been a lot of uproar in the community,
Yep.
and I imagine Silver Dragons wasn't the only one that gave the mint a call and said, "Hey, what's going on here?"
Yep.
So perhaps the mint was like, "We need to get a hold of these companies and say ixnay with the istinglay."
Or they just contacted eBay and said anything with this listing on it is not right.
Has
It's not a
got to
legitimate
go,
listing.
right? I mentioned that to Frostbite too. Maybe they contacted eBay and said these listings need to be removed because they're
Yeah.
false.
Yeah, but again, this is all conjecture. Like we don't actually have.
Oh, all of it.
Yeah.
The only way we will know is if somebody buys a pre-sale and gets a slabbed privy within a couple days after the release, because we know then that they were already graded because there wouldn't have been time. And they truly did get these. This company truly did get these privy
And
marks
this
advanced release ahead of time.
this
It's the
kind
only
of
way we'll
stuff
know.
wouldn't surprise me because I've said
Right.
in the past that I think that the grading companies have been talking to the U.S. Mint to actually grade coins and have the U.S. Mint sell the coins.
Yeah.
Some to see how it works or something, you know what I'm saying, to see logistically how it would happen if people bulk bought them, they ship them right to the grader grades them and ships them to the end user.
Well, if they really did do this, Eric, this is also a huge manipulation in the market.
Oh, no, sure,
A
but I don't
huge
think the Mint
manipulation
did
in the
it
market
to
because
manipulate the
these,
market.
huh?
I don't think the Mint would do it to manipulate the market. I think that everybody involved in it outside the
Right.
Mint and the grading companies are going to try and manipulate. That's what
Right.
this is all
That
about. I mean,
right.
uh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, you even see it, the people racing at the beginning of the year to get new coinage. They're putting pre-sale stuff out in December,
Me too, Yankee. Yeah.
hoping that they're going to get this stuff first and be able to get $20 a roll for it.
Oh, so Wolverine wasn't a mod. He couldn't post that link. Okay.
Yep, you already
Yeah.
got one. Already took care of that.
Yeah, it's a big scandal, you know.
I forget
I
about
think
that
that
sometimes.
I'm not sure that there is any way that this can't become a scandal, no matter what, unless it all around is just not true. But it
Yeah,
sounds like,
unfortunately, they probably don't care if it's a scandal.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Remember Frostbite?
Yeah,
I said they are catering to these big companies and forgetting about their bread, who is really their bread and butter. The average
Good.
stick
Yeah. Silver
I'm looking
Wolverines,
at
thank you for this. Okay, so this,
maybe
yeah, this is,
metal with Privy. Here it is. Mint
sharing my
State
screen. Hold on
17,
just a minute.
2024.
Gotta remember what freaking buttons to push.
Okay, so they do have 28 listed that they have 28 listed that with the privy that they have graded. And they've graded 561 without.
Yep.
and
That's
that, you know, that is actually pretty close to the number we were talking about yesterday, Frostbite. I was with Chuck when you were
but
texting
that's
it.
only PCGS.
Right. Well, we
That
were talking
doesn't.
about ratios, about percentage,
Mm-hmm.
that it could be no more than like 4.1%.
Well, but here's the thing with the 41. Is it 4.1 or 41?
It's 4.18%.
Yeah, but remember you have the rate of diminishing returns. So
Right. That is
Not
something you
with,
have to have other figures using what the figures that we had.
yeah. So
That would be 4 out of 100 coins would have it.
assuming all things are done in an equal state,
Methodical, exact
yeah.
science.
Okay,
It would be
assuming all
4%.
things are done that way, it's 4.1. But knowing the diminished rate of returns and understanding that you don't know how many end up in what box at what person
You
at what
don't know.
time.
You don't know the die life, so you don't know just because
Mhm.
there's 70 something thousand. You don't know if it's one die or two dies.
Well,
One
the
die
privy
could go
marks,
40,000 coins. One die could go 30,000 coins.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of variables that could turn that down to 2%, or even push it all the way up to 6 or 7%.
You know,
yeah,
if you click on shop with affiliates on eBay, I mean on PCGS's site next to it, nothing comes up for the flowing hair. Not a single listing comes up for the flowing hair.
which tells me that PCGS reached out and said, shut it down.
Yeah, you can get the non
Or somebody reached out. Because, folks, and again, I showed this yesterday, right? We talked about this. There were multiple listings. I had tabs all the way across my screen of listings that were there. I showed some with, some without. A majority of were there. We showed CAC, we showed NGC, we showed PCGS, we showed Annex. Annex is the only one that I didn't take a copy of. But today, the only one that's left is this one.
Is an auction.
This one.
Yeah, and that's auction. It ends on Wednesday.
Yep. Now here's the one that I took the screen capture of. This is what I sent Paula.
Mm-hmm.
These are the screenshots that I sent her. This was taken at 2 o'clock. This is the advertisement for this company at this time frame. You can see the privy mark right there. 5 o'clock, 5:19. I have it up here. I copied the entire thing. It's the same one. That is no longer there. It no longer exists. All of these on eBay had been removed.
Yeah.
Okay, and we were looking at PCGS. We were looking at sold listings. We were looking at some of the other items that were there. We see some ones that were sold, some of them that were pre up there, right? Looking at the various ones, the various prices. Like this was sold September 26th. This is a pre-sale, right? They're listed as pre-sales. We know they're pre-sales, so you can't take anything by that, because if it ends up not being true, they just refund the money. So I don't take any stock in some of these, but none of these pre-sales are there anymore. You can't find them. They're gone.
Check Stacker. No, in fact, it would surprise me if it was the opposite, because there were only 1,794 of those struck with the privy.
So here's my thing,
So
Silver
the majority
Wolverine.
of them should be 70s.
Yeah, so I think this is where there's a requirement. Now, there's a couple other requirements, and again, this is where some of this stuff just doesn't make sense to me. So, from what I understand, there's a requirement that they can't do a markup, right, from that bulk program. They can't do a markup of more than 5% or whatever it is. But every one of the listings that were there, when you look at it, the markup was 10, 12, 15%. In some cases, the markup was 1,000, 800, 900%.
Oh, crazy.
Crazy numbers. There are still two listings that are there. That
number tells me that it was one die. One die.
Yeah,
pair.
right.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell Chuck. Assume there's only one die because there's less than 1,800 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so when you're talking about die pairing, what's the probability of that? That's fine. The probability that I'm looking for is a little bit different. So I want to assume
if somebody buys a box, what's the chance of the box being a full box or whatever? There's a lot of different variables.
There's a lot of different variables.
I think that something, if they're making 75,000 and 1,700 or 1,800, have the privy mark, they're dumping one or two in a box. They're doing it manually.
Well, and here it goes. So
they couldn't have an auto, just like a feed, generate the tubes, fill the tubes. They would have to have somebody throwing.
And then there's even more randomization that comes when the people that package and distribute them get a hold of them too. There's even more randomization.
Yeah.
Hey, Silver Wolverine, thank you for
W quarters.
Thank you for the clarification on that, Silver Wolverine. I appreciate it.
20 quarters in a box. And that's a lot of quarters to mix 20 quarters in.
Yeah, well, so here's
somehow did it.
Here's, you want me to tell you what this reminds me of? And I'm going way left field. Now, I want you guys to understand, I'm saying reminiscent of. I am not saying that they're doing it. I'm not saying, so be careful with utilizing my language to say Frosty said the mint is crooked. That's not what I'm saying.
Paula did.
But you know what? You know what this smells?
I'm making my Facebook memes right now.
But you know what this smells like to me? How many of you remember McDonald's and the
Monopoly game?
Yeah. And so here's how that breaks out, right? They were given the items, however many they are, and they are responsible for distributing those in certain areas, right? They would put them in sealed envelopes, deliver them, and then they would put them into their mix. They would know when it was going out. They would have people on standby. They would go with armed guards. They would go to those areas, and they would do that. So if you're talking about 1,794 special privy marks, that means they're coming off a special die, off a special machine. Somebody's collecting these.
No, not a special machine. Same machine.
Same
machine as any other proof or so they would come off the same machine.
Well, yeah, except that the
but somebody walked the die pair over there and said, "This is what you're doing."
Well, I'm sure they have to adjust the pressures and stuff too. So it's
probably that's probably why it's not 1,800.
Yeah,
it's its own machine. It's not going to be the same. I can guarantee you that the elements of that is not going to be exactly the same. So for its all intents and purposes, it's its own machine, right? So when you look at this particular element, you look at this item and you say, somebody has to be grabbing these. Now they're going to want higher grades. Again, this is one of these things that's highly collectible. They're going to treat these like proof coins. And so they have to have somebody managing these. They're not going into a hopper. They're not being fed into a feeding machine. Somebody has got a population report, and they're making sure that one goes in this tube, one goes in this tube, one goes in this tube, whatever it is. Right? Now, whether they tracked that, whether they documented it, whether they did that, we don't know the answer to that. But somebody managed that. Somebody has to know.
They're not in tubes the entire time. So these bulk companies or whoever are buying these in bulk are not getting them in tubes like normal bullion. They are getting them in boxes with in the clamshell with COAs. They're getting them from the distribution companies already packaged up.
Right. So they're still probably buying 100.
So there still is a randomization there.
Okay. So when they're buying in bulk, I guess my question is, how many have been put into clamshells? How many have been put?
Oh, they're all put into clamshells.
Oh, they're all put in clamshells.
So when you order bulk, they order a monster box of these, or a half a monster box of these.
Well, they can't get a monster box.
They can't get a monster box.
They're in tubes. She's saying it's going to be, let's just say it's an 8-inch by 10-inch by 6-inch box that has these little 3-inch square boxes with the coin in like an airtight inside the little
Yeah, I don't have one sitting
box
here. I'll pull it up.
So you would say there might be 28 or 30 in a box.
Right.
And so in that 30, so say there was 30 boxes, that would mean there's 250 boxes, full boxes to be sold.
Right, but they would have, what my point is, Eric, is that they would have to have controls, because otherwise you could pick up an entire box of Privy
them all. Right. So that makes me think that you're going to get people, the dealers are going to be buying boxes, and they're going to have one or two of them in each box.
Yeah, and so that's the same thing that somebody else stated.
Yeah, they have to be paying the company to say, here, make sure one or two of these get in the box.
Yeah,
this is how many coins you have to package. Basically, take the math and put, every 85 coins, put one in. If a box gets two, a box gets two. You know what I'm saying? They've probably got because I don't know how many coins the box holds. That's another figure you don't know. I mean, it could be a box of 100. Could be a box of 20.
Yeah, and this isn't a new gimmick. That's part of the issue, right? And again, how they do this is how they do this. Whatever, fine by me. My thing is that has the mint been open with the general public? That
are they ever?
Well, but that's the problem.
I mean, even like those meetings that they have on YouTube that they show, that is really more of a.
There's only one Hugh.
What we're doing, not that we actually care what the public's saying.
And they don't show everything on there either.
Right. I mean, basically, they show them asking Homeland Security and the Secret Service, "Is this okay?"
Right.
And they all go, "Yes, yes, 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 yes."
So Hugh Smith, hello. The coins with the privy marks are still listed on eBay. As I showed before, there is one listing.
One.
I want you to understand that when we pulled this information up yesterday, I pulled probably 20 tabs.
Yeah.
Where maybe 5 or 6 of them did not have the listing,
and
the rest of them did.
Yeah. We were sitting at the pizza parlor when you texted us, Frostbite, and I says, "I know what this is all about." And I told him, and he says, "Well, he says it's a 1794 flowing cent or flowing."
So you did get with Chuck yesterday?
Yeah, Chuck stayed at my house last night.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's there helping his dad.
Yeah. He's right now. He's at FEMA at the Disaster Recovery Center trying to get his dad some financial help.
So let me get back to Hugh's thing real quick, okay? Let me finish that. So yes, you can still see the one. The problem is there were multiple listings yesterday, and they were from all grading services. You go look it up today and pull up MS70 with Privy Mark graded PCGS, and you're not going to find them. Pull up NGC slab MS70 Privy Mark 1794.
Yeah, and the one that's listed is a raw coin.
It's a raw coin. You're not going to find the graded varieties anymore. Matter of fact, many of the sold listings are not there either. And so when you look at this, my thing is, and I screen captured this because there were some of them was like, well, I want people to see this. So I always capture these because if I ever want to utilize it in an image, I want to reference, hey, on Google on such and such date, this was here, right? I'm a data person. I monitor and track. I document my efforts. That it's a good research, right? When you're doing research, you document where you got it from. You know, you do your proper coding and say this is the date that I received it, so on and so forth. So I take the screen captures, and if I don't use the screen captures, then after a while I just get rid of them because they take up space either on my phone or on my computer. When Paula called me and said, I can't find these. And I was like, oh my God, how can you not find them? There's thousands of them listed. I mean, they're everywhere. And then I went to look at it and I was like, holy crap, they're gone. Like, what the hell is going on? They're not there.
I thought maybe I was doing something wrong. I was like, am I going crazy? Can you?
So I went back into my old IT days and started pulling Boolean searches. 1794, capital N in parentheses. Privy, and in parentheses, graded, and PCGS, and. So I started doing Boolean searches, calling for very specific items, and I could only find one CAC that the image hadn't changed. I took Scott, you just seen that just a moment ago. I'll pull that back up if you need to see that again. Took screen captures of it, sent it to her, and said, I can only find one.
Yeah, that was
3 hours later, that same listing, because I still had it on my phone, that same listing, that image had changed, and no more, even on their site, nowhere is this Privy Mark graded listed anywhere.
Yeah,
and it was all the companies, not just PCG.
So now it says that these are going on sale Monday, Tuesday, yeah, the 15th. So
that's true.
Buy
that's
one.
True. Yeah.
You can buy one, and you might have a chance of getting a Privy Mark. It's not just
but less of a chance than
if you buy 100.
No,
you can't buy 100.
Actually,
it's a household limit of one.
You can buy one.
Why were these even put out for the bulk buyers? If you look on the bulk buying program, they're not something that is not listed. Why, if they've got everybody else, limited to one, are they
maybe they're doing an old CoinMark trick. It's not a business anymore, but that guy had about 200 people that would buy and give them to him. So he would get 200, whether it was one or not.
Oh, all the companies do that. They have.
So they might not be bulk buying at all. They might just have 200 people lined up.
But these were actually pre-sold to these bulk buyers.
Yeah, confirmed by people from the mint.
They've already been graded.
8 or 9.
Now that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now if they're releasing them, usually the bulk buying, that starts the same time as the single buying. It would be at noon on the 15th.
Right.
But you just have a different account.
They've already had them graded. PCGS,
they've already been graded. So this is where, and again, so normal Boolean ASEs, who gives a rat's ass? I don't care. Enjoy it. Take it. That's part of the thing of you spending 10, 20 grand at a time. You know what? Enjoy that. But this was something special. And I say this not because I diss on AppMex or SD Bullion. And I said Mike from Mid-America Coins. He's a good friend of mine. I love Mike. Good people. However, there should have been nothing special about you being a dealer in this particular deal. It should have been equal
Mm-mm.
for everyone. Everybody on October 15th at noon Eastern time should have had the same
And
opportunity.
that's how it usually is.
Not this time.
Yeah. And
And
that's
this
not
is
right.
why I'm so. This is why I'm frustrated about it. This is why the Mint. It's like,
They're
look, guys,
manipulating the market.
Yep. That's exactly what it is. They
They
are.
are manipulating the market because
Yep.
these
Well,
are going to initially these are going to graded examples of Mint State 70s. And if you want the advanced release, you're going to pay up for that label.
Yep.
But if you don't care, even just the regular graded Mint State 70s are going to be astronomical.
Sorry.
They're manipulating the market. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Ultimately, that's exactly what it is. And so my thing is, I got zero issue. And I'll be honest with you. If they would have
Oh,
pre-sold,
anthropology.
if they would have pre-sold the regular ones and said, hey, you know what? We did the bulk buy program, so everybody can get these ones. You can get the regular ones graded. You can get your custom labels done. Get your early release. That's fine. And the Mint could have
I have a
utilized this.
problem with that too.
Well, but the Mint could have utilized this for their own good. It could have helped them out. Again, if you're going to do something like that, they keep all 1,794 of these. And, let's say tomorrow morning they could have released, hey, bulk program has gone out. There are now 1,794, but 8,000 of them have already been sold. So this is going to be a 3.1% chance of you getting one now. The odds have increased. Best of luck tomorrow at noon. You would have increased the likelihood.
So let me ask you this. So what happens then if they go, because we still don't know what they're going to do when they go live. We don't know what the interest is going to be on these.
Yep.
Well, it might be one of the
They could sell out
things
in 5 minutes.
that's right, because there's 5 left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if it is a hot ticket item and not everybody who wanted them was able to get them because many of them were already sold to the bulk buyers?
I get your point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah, we
okay.
don't know how many are sold to the bulk buyers.
We do actually.
I mean, you want
How many?
Less than 10%. According to
7,500 or 7,400.
it shouldn't, Yankee, with the way they've been doing it should not crash.
No, and that's one thing. That's one thing that I stated yesterday. In looking at because I have been upset with the Mint ever since they continued to screw my orders up. Right, where I would go to get the Navy metal, and they told me that there weren't any there, but 949 Designs came in right afterwards and bought the metal for me.
Yeah.
Right, so I have been down on the Mint for a while because they just need to get their stuff together. I also don't have a problem, and I've been very clear. I have zero issue with the medallic artists. They do a great job in crafting that. Some of the choices that have to be made because of relief or striking and things like that, there are design elements that are not exactly what the medallic artists do. And so I have zero issue with the medallic art that's coming out. I have an issue with the items that get chosen. But that's my personal, that's a whole nother story. We won't go there. The opportunity here was, number one, they've worked really hard in getting this website fixed. Paula has tried it. She's had no issues with it. I've talked to a number of other people. They didn't have the freezing. They didn't have the error. They didn't have the timeout. They didn't have the 404. There were a lot of improvements seen. So I had already had hope that this was going to be better and a little bit smoother. What I was hoping for is that the Mint would give themselves an opportunity after the fiasco that was the semi-quincentennial choices that pissed off a lot of collectors.
Morning, Farm Dog. Thanks for the picture.
Hey, Farm Dog. And so my biggest thing with this is that they had the real opportunity to really get the public on board and really do something neat for the collector. Really kind of bring people who are interested. I'm going to read you a message that was sent to me by a buddy of mine. Now, he's not a coin collector. He doesn't collect coins. But he was like, hey, I watched your channel the other day and I really appreciate this. And I told him, can I get some feedback? He says, I was really excited about the Flowing Hair remake. And after understanding what they've done, not so much now. Really great job. Here's my point in this. My point in this is that he's not a collector. And there was an opportunity for the U.S. Mint to really reach out and do what we want people to do, which is come into the hobby. Because if we don't do something with our hobby, we're going to lose it like stamps. And the Mint had a really great opportunity to really go out and have the general public come alongside them and really just engage in something really cool.
Peace dollar. It has
And
to
they
be a peace dollar freaking awesome.
they totally
Um,
poked them up.
And I believe it is a class 5 in my opinion after just looking at the pictures.
Sorry, Frostbite. I had to answer before it scrolled and I forgot all about it.
Right. I was looking already in that VAM world.
Yeah, it has to be. If it's a VAM, it has to either be a Morgan or a peace dollar. So, and by the date, you know it's a peace dollar.
Wow, that's got some nice doubling on In God We Trust.
So
Okay.
All right, sorry.
Back to this.
Squirrel.
Back to this.
no, it's
Yes,
okay.
I
Well,
know.
hey, it wouldn't be
We just-
Sunday and it wouldn't be YouTube if we didn't get squirreled a little bit.
Exactly. Exactly.
But again, the whole premise behind this is that I'm angry because when I started seeing these come up on Friday, I was like, oh God, please tell me that they didn't do this. Just please tell me that it's just pre-sale stuff. Tell me that I'm wrong. And everything in me was like, this isn't wrong. They're doing this.
No, when you first brought it up, I was like, oh, those pre-sales, they do that
Yeah.
all the time. That doesn't mean anything, you know, blah, 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 blah. And
So
then
I started digging in and really trying to understand, like, hey, how do I find this information? Who do I go to? And started reaching out. Reached out to a couple of people on eBay. Got 0 responses except for one. And then I came across Silver Dragons. And it's like, hey, the Mint has confirmed that, less than 10% of these have gone out. Right. And they're talking about the 75,000, right? So less than 10%, estimation somewhere between 8 and 9%. He put it closer to 8%. I think
So it's probably
kind of
7
close.
or 7, yeah, 7,000 of them.
So, well, less. It would have put you at a mintage of something like 68,000 by the time that was done. That was the number that he gave. So again, that the number is, we don't know, but it really doesn't really matter that much. The problem is that he had reached out to a couple of the dealers and he had dealers confirm that they had the privy mark. And so that immediately flagged the question, well, hold on. How many are out there? How many have been released? What are the odds? I mean, did my big thing, okay, this is where, and if I find out the very first one comes from AppMax, so the very first one comes from SD Bullion, I'll be 100% done with it. And that is, how many of those, hold on, how many of those were the 230 certificates that are going to cause these things to go nuts? Because remember, when this happened last time, those coins with the certificates were selling for $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. Crazy. But as I stated yesterday, if I got one of those that had the certificate, I would be forced to sell it because I have to provide for my family. I could buy that and I could buy another privy coin for $700 and still have plenty of money to take care of. But I have a family first and foremost. I am a collector second. I am a father and a husband first. And so it's because I moved my head. I'll do this and it'll be a little bit better. But I'm a family, I'm a father and I'm a husband first. And so the collector to me would be second. Okay. But how many of these with the certificates that are signed by the Mint director have already gone to some of the big people, some of the big players? That's my question.
Yeah, as long as it's proportionate, I won't have a problem with it. But something tells me, like you say, there's probably something running around in the hen house.
Well, and yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
You know how my trustworthiness is.
Yeah,
I don't trust anything.
I have no idea where you stand. Yeah, I
I'm
have
gonna
no
go
idea where
grab
you
some
stand on
coffee.
things,
I'll be right
Eric.
back.
But I want to be very clear, right? I'm not saying the mint is doing stuff. I'm not saying that they're doing anything illicit.
No, you're hoping that they're not,
I'm
though.
hoping that they're not. I really,
That's right.
really want, it's like, hey, this has been fair. Everything is good. We're on the up and up. The odds of getting one of these have remained the same. We've been really careful with the distribution. They've put security things in process to ensure that's there, but it still irks me that they didn't save this for the general populace. Because I'll tell you what, I can't afford a bunch of money like that to get one of
Yeah.
these.
Well, as
premium
long as the, in my opinion, as long as the ratio seems to be 1 in 42, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, here's my take on it. So if you guys watch the Livecoin Q&A at all, or
what is
have
that? What do
listened,
you speak of? What is this?
I don't know. It's some random show. But even if you don't, if you have seen me around in different streams and stuff, I have been excited about this from the very first
You
breath
have.
of its release. I've talked about it. I've been excited about it. I've been waiting
Yeah.
for a classic design to come out, something that I could afford. And I can't say that I think the flowing hair is the most beautiful coin, because it's really not, and it wasn't, and people didn't like it when it was originally released.
Yeah.
But as a classic design, it's the only way I probably will ever get my hands on one, unless I get some coal somewhere. But I've been excited about it, and I've thought, I hope they make it a program. Like, I hope that they do this a multi-year thing, like bring several of the classic designs back. So anyway, so I wasn't super thrilled. I mean, I'm like, oh yay, that's kind of cool. They're doing a privy, and I showed it on the show a couple times, and we talked about it, and I was like, yeah, that would be cool if I get one. It didn't make a difference to me whether I was going to buy it or not, because I was going to buy it anyway. In
Yeah.
fact, I was a little
Yeah.
disappointed when they made the household limit only one, because I really was planning on getting two. But I've actually saved for it. So none of that mattered to me. Now this comes up, and I'm a little heartbroken over it. Like, it kind of took the wind out of my sails, and it's muddied it a bit. And I really, I'm saddened about that it's kind of dirtied it,
Yeah, see,
and
Yankee, I would have been the exact same way. I would have liked to have seen them do a mintage of 25,000 and no privy.
I'm happy with I think, actually, I think that I wish people would have never noticed it. Because I want one of these, and I'm a little
Well, that or
nervous.
sell them separate. Do 15,000 with a privy and
Yeah,
75,000 without,
something,
and add
right.
$25 to the cost with the privy, and say it's going to go to, you know, some
Some
charity or
charity,
goat herding or
a
something like that.
hurricane,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, because her hair's flowing, and the wind from the hurricane. I
Right.
don't know. I'm
That's
just trying to tie
that
I'm
was a
trying to tie it
that was a
together, but
great stretch, by the way.
I
Yeah.
know. But my point is that I would have been happy had they just left it alone. But I do think that the privy was their way of trying. I thought it was their way of going, hey, collectors,
Yeah.
we
Let's make
care
this
about
collect. Let's
you.
give you a chance at
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
a
we
really good
care about
collection.
you. We want you to know we're thinking about you. We're going to try to do something special for you guys, because,
Yeah.
we haven't done anything special in a while. But no, that's obviously not their intent on this, which is disappointing.
It
And
is disappointing, and that's the
you
key
guys
word
know
right there.
me.
It's disappointing.
If you know me, I have zero luck. Like I was saying the other day, I'd be lucky if mine comes with hair.
So your
So
name's not Adam then, right?
I'm not, and that's what I was just gonna say. Now, if Adam had bought, if you were allowed five, and I bought five, and Adam bought five, I would get zero privy, and Adam would get five. with the COAs.
Yeah, Adam
So
would
I
get number one
have,
COA, right? Like,
right.
yeah.
I just don't have that kind of luck, so I'm absolutely was not planning on getting a privy anyway. I just want the coin
In the
or
thing with
the metal. The metal. I just want the metal. But
Yankee Doodle Stacker says he's bought stuff from the Royal Mint with 12,500 mintages. You know,
mhm.
the U.S. Mint could learn something from the Royal Mint.
They certainly
Oh,
could.
yeah.
I did
I've
buy
ordered coins 2 times from them now. Not
I've
only do
only
I
done it
get them
once.
within a week, their shipping is
Mhm.
reasonable, their coins are reasonable. Everything is. I'll
Yes.
end up paying if I get something from the Mint. You end up paying an exorbitant amount of shipping, and it
Mhm.
comes lackluster packaging at best.
Yeah.
The Mint, everything was or Royal Mint, everything was secure. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I bought that the Great Britain Liberty coin, and I bought both of them. I bought it from the Royal Mint and I bought it from the US Mint. And I was you talk about shipping. I mean, shipping is above average for them because we're talking about across the pond.
Right, and it was
And
literally like $12.
yes, and I got it in like 5 days. I'm
Yeah,
like, how did they do that?
and then you order from
Carrier
the Mint, and
pigeon?
the shipping's $25, and it takes 6 weeks.
Yeah. That was the only time I ordered from them, and it was a super easy process. Like Adam had a little bit of a glitch, but I had no problem getting them. I got them on the day of release, and
Yeah, but didn't Adam get like coin number 2 out of the
y-
12,000 or something like that?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, of course he did,
Yep.
and I ordered mine before him. Of course he did, but it's okay. I don't care about that. But anyway, I'm just I really am saddened over this because this has been like a year of excitement for me. I've been just so excited about this, and it really has just muddied the water. And I don't think it's going to be the last time we hear about it. I'm really am going to be interested to find out how it all plays out. But
Yeah,
um I am going
I'm
to talk to him.
surprised. Like I said, I'm surprised one of the third-party graders hasn't gotten in with the Mint and saying, "Here, we'll grade a bunch, and the Mint can just go ahead and sell graded coins."
Mhm.
So,
I
Silver
think that's
Wolverine, thank you for sharing the population report and coming into the
Yes,
stream
thank you.
and
Yeah,
sharing that information.
if you find the reports from NGC or CAC grading, um,
they don't
reach
seem to be
out.
published yet. I just was
Silver,
Yeah,
looking at NGC. While the coin is
okay,
published, there's no census on it. It doesn't seem like.
okay,
so Silver
okay.
Wolverine, if you have your link for your stream tomorrow, go ahead and feel free to throw it in chat. Okay.
I would love it if somebody would call the Mint and put them on speaker and
Well, and this is one of my things yesterday, and
or the grading companies.
well, we
I'm
have
actually surprised CAC grading is involved in this because,
Why? They were involved. The guy that founded it was involved in founding
well,
all the
I know
other
in
ones.
both of
So
them, I know,
yeah,
but
I mean, there's no reason why their business practices wouldn't be the same.
yeah, it's true.
that's fact.
Annex
Yeah.
Annex got at least one.
Yeah. Well, hey, and you know what? Like I say, I'm kind of an Annex fan,
I
but
am
I'm
an
just not
Annex.
a coin grading fan.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just think that this is going to be it's just sticking it to the collector all the way around because people are going to overpay for the metal. They're going to overpay for an MS-70. They're going to overpay because it has a special label. And it's just sad to see. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It
I
really is
agree.
just sad to see because it's just at the end of the day, it all boils down to you guys and these companies taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
That's
And
what it all
that's what
boils
that
down
frustrates
to.
me.
At the end of the day, that's what it boils down to.
So,
Is
folks,
it
if you're in the stream, do me a favor. Go tomorrow. Go check out Silver Wolverine's video on this. He's going to be posting.
yeah,
He's going to be recording that today. So go check that out,
for
please.
sure. For sure.
We appreciate you coming in, Silver Wolverine. We
Tell them the
appreciate
live
that.
coin Q&A sent you. I'm just teasing. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I never self promote, but I am doing a little bit of that. But that's okay. Who
Nothing
does?
wrong with that.
All
Yeah.
right. I want people to come and watch
I mean,
us.
pretty much everybody in here knows anyways. So
So, but you know what I can say?
Just-
I heard
Yeah.
it from Kaneka.
I heard it from Kaneka. I got my business cards in the mail.
I was going to
yesterday.
say, I'm not remembering the name, but I got the business card somewhere.
I got the business card. I got my business cards yesterday. I feel so important. They're lovely. They're awesome. I'm gonna be passing them around. You see me at all these homeless camps. Passing around
There you go. Yeah. Hey, hey.
Hey.
Yeah.
I see you got some coins in that coffee cup there.
So Coach asks a great question. When they reissue a popular design from the past, does it diminish the older original version, or does it create more demand
Oh,
by putting it in the spotlight?
I think
Possibly both.
Yeah, I don't think it diminishes.
This
it
won't diminish the demand
all.
just because there's not any survivors. I don't think there's not a ton of survivors, are there?
There,
Of the
yeah, well,
dollar? There's
yeah,
a
there's
few.
Flowing hair
there's a
stuff,
few
the
of
old
them.
ones, the originals.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of them. I wouldn't
Right, but
say
there's
that
a
it
few,
would
but I don't think
diminish.
there's enough to diminish the value much.
It's not
No.
like a restrike.
If anything, it's going to make them more valuable because it will increase the interest in them.
I
Yeah.
think it's gonna, bring to light because there are people who are in this hobby who collect a certain thing who are probably still not familiar with a lot of the classic designs and the older coins that we have,
Yeah.
and kids
I don't pay
especially.
attention to a lot of them. I
I think
truly
it's
don't.
I think it's a great opportunity if you know any children to say, "Hey, check this out. Do you know what this is?" And this was like our first dollar coin, and here's an innovation dollar, and here's a flowing hair dollar, and look at the differences. And yeah, look at that; those are cool. Only
I'm
$5
sorry, I'm just
for a
reading chat.
coin
I
cup.
just
I would
happened.
do it, kid of mine. I would do it. I would. I don't care.
As long as you had like a Clorox wipe in your hand at the
The
same time.
gloves. Like, just sell me the cup and everything, so I don't really have to touch the coins yet. No, I'm not going to put them in my dishwasher. So anybody out there who wants to make a smart ass remark.
It's right
There's
below
always
you,
one.
Southern Coin.
What was I looking at? Oh, I was going to go to PCGS and see.
It's right
Yeah,
there.
a lot of the coins pre-Civil War, while I know about a lot of them, I don't go out of my way to look at them because I don't have any.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
I
I
look
love
at them when
them.
the question comes up or when I get, asked something. I actually get asked
Mhm.
quite a bit.
Yeah, that's my thing. Even like with so I had somebody asked me a question about a walking half the other day. How much do you know about the walking half? And I said, probably about as much as you do, but I know where to find the information. So shoot.
Yeah.
So they sent me their question and I researched it and got their answer. And that's half the battle right there is just
Yeah.
knowing where to look for
Knowing where to
stuff.
look.
So
Having resources in your back pocket.
yeah.
Yep. And that this is why I tell people all the time for the purposes of my channel. My channel is not to become the expert in all this stuff. Right? I'm surrounded by people like these two that have great insights on what they do. Errors, varieties, Lincoln sense, just general numismatic, the minting process, understanding the hobby itself, right? But what I like to do is I like to be a source for you guys to come to and say, hey, who would I talk to about this? And do the stupid stuff like tell goofy dad jokes and do things like, talk about the stories behind some of these and share with you, like little teaching tools and tidbits and tips and tricks that are true. They're not misleading. They're not clickbaity. They might have a clickbait tone to them because you have to gain people's interest in them. But give good, solid, short pieces of information at the easiest possible level so that people understand what's going on. Right.
Yeah.
And so, Eric, how many times have you guys been talking about something? I'm like, hold on. Let's explain what that means.
A
Right.
couple times here
Yeah,
and there.
because
There's
it's
just an FYI, there's 150 surviving, estimated surviving flowing hair dollars, and
Well, there you go. They're not going to
if
go
you would
down in
like,
value.
yeah,
yeah, if you would
they're
like one
rarity.
in G4, you can get one for the low price of $115,000.
There you go.
Woohoo!
They're actually on YouTube. I've got to find this auction. There is actually I want to say it's a Sotheby's auction of a rare coin estate, and it was the finest collection of colonial and pre-colonial coins. And every one, I mean, he had coins all the way up into the 1870s. But every one was like the finest known example. And he had a lot of these like in MS states, and they were going for like 12 million, 18 million.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, I
and
think I
it's
saw
a
that.
great, and I've looked for it because I wanted to show Chuck. I watched it and I was like, wow, this was like the best 8 hour. You know, I was cleaning my house, I was sorting coins, I was this and that, and it was on in the background, and you'd hear something would come up, and you'd go, holy moly, how can something like that still be around in MS-66?
Yeah, that's where every coin has its own like secret service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
They've got armed guards for every coin. It's very
so
strange.
I've got to dig that up and send you a link because it's amazing. The coins,
How
it's
fun
like,
would that be?
oh,
gosh.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine knowing somebody
couldn't
that.
imagine. As much
Yeah, I
as
know you got
love
me the other
coins.
day too, Jenny. That's crazy.
What happened?
Telling people happy birthday, and then them going, "Oh my God, it's Frosty's birthday!" No,
Oh, hell.
you guys can't forget my birthday. It's easy,
I just found that out yesterday.
which surprises the hell out of me. Actually,
Fool's Day. I know.
well, folks, you know what? I'm going to wrap up early today.
Cool.
I've got a wife downstairs that I need to attend to. I've got stuff around the house that I've got to get taken care of.
Eric,
yeah, I've got to.
good seeing you and talking to you.
Good talking to you, brother.
Yeah, it turned out I got a lot of cleanup to do, but I only lost like soffits and gutters and shit like that.
Well, I'm happy that you didn't lose more than.
Oh no, I live on a hill. I mean, I literally, everybody's like, why aren't you leaving? And it's just like, you don't run from the wind, you hide from the wind, you run from the water.
Run from the water.
And you know, the big thing with Ian is my roof got penetrated and I got water in the house.
Yeah.
This didn't happen. The roof, everything was good. And there's a lot of people. I mean, everybody's like, oh, it wasn't like the news said. Well, there was places in the country that they said it was going to be like barren wasteland after this thing went through.
Yeah.
And it's like, how could they say something like they know better? They were just trying to sell a story. I mean, this was no joke. It was just it was a hurricane. I mean, and it went just like 90% of all hurricanes go.
Well, I think it's because it was so close to the one before
other one. Yeah,
it.
we ended up getting hit by both of them.
Yeah.
And but neither. I mean, I didn't have to worry about flooding. Tampa's it's a little sketchy there. Where
And
Chuck's dad
Sarasota too, right? Sarasota.
the old business my wife had a foot and a half, 2 feet of water all through it. And all the signs are blown down, everything. I mean, it's a terrible sight, and it's going to be like she said. She goes, that property's got to be cursed. It burns down, it floods, it gets robbed, it get all sorts of stuff.
Coach's Magic. I definitely am going to still buy one. It doesn't change my opinion on the metal itself whatsoever. I still think it's beautiful, and I want to own one. I want to own one just as bad today as I did before.
And that's the reason to buy it. If I buy one, I won't buy it because of the privy. If I get one with a privy, would I be
That'd
happy?
be a bonus.
Sure.
Yeah.
I am upset with the situation and with the way collectors are being treated.
Yeah, the way
and I will be writing a letter, by the way, to the U.S. Mint, and I encourage all of you guys to do it too. As much as we sit here and complain and everything else, we really have no room to complain if we're not willing to at least say something. So say something, let them know, hey, we know what's going on, and this is not okay.
Next
You
time we
know?
should do an all-day show. Maybe one day we will do some all-day marathon type stuff.
Yeah,
that would be
it would
crazy
be
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Be fun. All right, you guys, I'm gonna take off too. Everybody
All
have a
right. Yeah,
blessed
me too.
Monday.
Thanks
Stay
everybody.
safe.
Appreciate you. Take care, Eric. Tell Chuck I said howdy.
I love you guys.
Hope his dad's
All right.
good.
See y'all soon.
We'll see you. All right, folks. Well, thanks again for coming in and supporting the channel, for having the great discussion. Again, hey Tiger, good morning. Hope you're doing well. So here's my bottom line up front, as we call it in my industry. I am undecided on whether or not I'm going to get one, but there's two factors involved in my decision. Number one is I may simply not be able to because of work duties. So I might not be able to be online, and I may not be able to be there when the hammer drops because I may be actively engaging in training of some high level folks. So I might not be able to do it. There's a high likelihood that even if I wanted to, I won't have that opportunity. If the opportunity affords itself, will I try for it? As a collector, yeah, I want one. But on premise of this, I think what I'm going to do is take the day, really think about, on premise, is it worth me not having it because I'm frustrated by the way something beyond my control occurred? I don't have any control over this. So should I punish myself for this? I don't know. I really don't know. Do I stand by my moral compass, which will cost me the opportunity to own one of these? And if they go through the roof and they become a really high popular item, maybe never have the opportunity to own one again. So I have some decisions to weigh. What I will do is I will put a community post out either later tonight or tomorrow. Maybe even tonight, Tiger Stacker is doing a stream with a very special guest at, I believe it's 4 p.m. Central Time Frame. Afterwards, he's going to host a panel of some people to talk about West Virginia item 203, and I can't remember what the title of it is. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a really interesting conversation. At that time frame, I might make up my mind, and if I do, I'll let you guys know there. But I will be putting a community post in once I make my determination. Here's what I will say. Please do not stop yourself from getting one of these if you truly and utterly want one, despite what the Mint has done, despite any potential frustration. If you want one, damn it, get one. Good luck in getting the privy, and God, extra good luck in getting one of the certificates. I'm not telling anybody not to buy one of these. I'm not telling anybody that they should not chase one of these. I'm just calling a spade, a heart, and a bluff. Okay? That's all I'm doing. I'm just reporting it as I see it, gathering information, giving you information as I want to do, which is to help you guys be informed of situations. Now, I'll make up my mind. I don't know. We'll find out. But please, on all the information that I've given you, understand that I'm not telling you not to buy one. I'm not even telling you not to support the Mint. I'm just giving you the information so that you can make your own informed decisions. Take my information for what it's worth. Take the information, do with it as you will. This is ultimately your decision. All right? Love you, folks. Take care, be well, be blessed. And as always, I will see you in the stream.